Welcome to Numbers Don't Lie, your spot to find out Kevin Durant's stat line and his latest Twitter beef. Today, we're breaking down the hottest news in the NBA. Then, we're getting your fantasy team right with key injury fill-ins, buy low trade targets, player trends, and the top waiver wire ads for Week 4. Stick around for a little shout-out at the end. KD's been quiet on the timeline, and Twitter trolls can thank basketball for that. He's too busy making history and winning games with and for his new team.
Pressure. Here goes Steven.
Doesn't get the pick. Durant takes it all the way to the rim with the monster flush.
In their latest win against the Bucks, Durant passed Kyle Lowry for 13th all-time in three-pointers made. He also has the third most games in NBA history with 30-plus points on 80% true shooting, beaten only by his ex-teammates Steph Curry and James Harden. Now, this is Durant's third team in 5 years, but this might finally be the click he's looking for. He famously told everyone he had no desire to be a leader, but it's hard to lead an army who've already picked their commander. He was never going to dethrone Curry, but maybe Houston is where his experience and wisdom will finally be needed. The youngins will also get a first-row seat and free lessons on how to troll and be petty. KD has a new team, but the antics are still the same. If you've had a life and don't know, Ja has not been happy in Memphis. Since his riff with the coaching staff, his on-court production and off-court persona have taken a massive hit. You can tell he's just clocking in, counting down the minutes, and clocking out, then repeat.
Morant from deep downtown, no good, well off the offensive board. Morant relocates and misses again.
According to reports, he's barely spoken to or interacted with the coaches. You think Durant's letting that go? He's the kind of player that starts a fight with fans while playing basketball. He'll be throwing a three and yelling at Bob to fix his shirt on row 3. During his game against the Grizzlies, KD started to joke at Team Moran, Ja's dad, basically telling him, "Don't worry, your son won't be here long." Sometimes I wonder why KD and Draymond, the self-proclaimed trolls of the NBA, never got along. That should have been a match made in best friendship heaven. Raise your hand if you're all for KD's next victim to be Steve Ballmer. The billionaire has been under fire recently for essentially finding a loophole in order to pay Kawhi Leonard more than what the NBA would allow. Now he's being sued by 11 investors in Aspiration who allege that he used the company to funnel money to Kawhi and circumvent the salary cap. The arrangement was that Ballmer would be an investor in Katona, and in return, he'd use Katona to secretly funnel millions to Kawhi, thereby going around the NBA's rules.
I've stumbled onto a major company conspiracy, Mac. How about that for stress? What the hell are you talking about? This company is being bled like a stuck pig, Mac, and I got a paper trail to prove it. Check this out.
The lawsuit further claims that Ballmer abetted Aspiration's co-founder, Joe Sandberg, who was charged with defrauding investors for the self-serving purpose of re-signing Kawhi. Between this and the gambling, NBA is a soap opera that just keeps on giving. But my question is, this is all happening under Adam Silver's nose? As long as we have the NBA Cup and highlights, we're good, right, Adam? Sorry, I'll never forget that the actual commissioner of the National Basketball Association told fans who could not find ways to watch full games due to being priced out to watch highlights instead.
I saw the story your publication ran of you took all the different streaming services and added them up and what those costs would be. I will say I look at it a little bit differently because most people can only consume so many games. There's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport.
Okay, rant over. But before I leave you to fantasy, did you know the Blazers are 5-3 in the Tiego splitter era? Yes, since Chauncey Billups, who was arrested on the basis of sports betting, the Trailblazers are 5-3. He currently has them as the 7th seed in the West and has finally given the city something to be happy about. Could the lawyers use Portland's schedule sheet and court as proof? If so, it's not looking good for Mr. Billups. Now that we've covered the drama, let's dive into the stats. Injuries are the worst part of the NBA, but for fantasy, they create the biggest opportunity for minutes. Walker Kessler is out for the season with shoulder surgery. In games without Kessler so far this season, Yusuf Nurkic has averaged over 10 rebounds, over 1.6 steals, and almost a block. We're also seeing Hendricks get more minutes. Zion Williamson is out for another week with a left hamstring strain. If history is anything to go by, this won't be the first time Zion sits a stretch of games. Derek Queen is averaging around 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in games Zion has not played. Brandon Miller will miss at least 2 more weeks. Concanepal has averaged over 17 points and over 6 rebounds in games without Miller so far this season. Sion James is also seeing more playing time. Dylan Harper has suffered a left calf strain and will miss multiple weeks. But we've seen De'Aaron Fox return from injury, and he'll be taking all of Harper's minutes and then some. Cam Thomas will miss 3 to 4 weeks, which for a tanking Brooklyn team can easily turn into 4 to 5 weeks. We're seeing Noah Clowney starting and shooting horribly from the field, and Drake Powell getting added to the rotation. Keep an eye on Powell. He has the potential to be a nice 3-and-D guy and should have a path to minutes as the season progresses. Jordan Poole is set to be checked again in 7 to 10 days, which only cements Jeremiah Fear's starting spot for a few more weeks. Jalen Green has just injured his hamstring again and might be sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks. Expect to continue to see guys like Grayson Allen and Colin Gillespie fill in. The buy low window on Miles Turner and Derek White has shut. Now it's time to look at this week's players to target. Domantas Sabonis has been shooting below 45% from the field across his last 5 games and below 38% over his last 2. He's currently playing hurt, but this is a guy who has averaged 59% over his last 2 seasons. He's playing alongside 2 ISO-heavy players, and they're not playing to any of his strengths, but they need to hustle and get him more involved in the offense again if they want to do what the Kings do best and fight for a chance to get eliminated in a play-in game. Desmond Bane's shooting is trending in the right direction, hitting 46.7% of his shots from the field over the past week, but he's still ranked outside of the top 150 for the season. The window is still open. Chet just had a week where he failed to score more than 12 points in 2 of his 3 games. It'll take a lot to trade for him, but this is your chance to ask the question. DeAndre Ayton has returned top 30 value over the past week. He has bought into his role in LA and has found a coach who is getting the best out of him, and he's averaging a career high in blocks. You can try and sell high or ride it out for the full DeAndre Ayton experience. Was anyone expecting a 36-year-old Russell Westbrook to start this season averaging 15, 6, and 5? Make it make sense, because he just had a week putting up top 25 value, and I don't know how. Are people still freaking out about Paolo Banchero? He has been putting up top 30 value over the last 2 weeks. It's too late to buy low on him, but it'll take a while for his overall ranking to catch up. Trey Murphy started the season on a cold streak, only scoring more than 13 points once in his 4 games. Over the past week, he has averaged 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals. Good enough for the 9th best player for the week. Dyson Daniels is currently playing better than the Dyson Daniels many people drafted. His value is still heavily tied to steals, but he's also filling up the stat sheet with rebounds, assists, and block. It could be a sell-high opportunity with Trae Young still weeks away from returning. Amin Thompson had people panicking to start this season, but we saw him put up great numbers to end last season, and he closed out the week returning top 40 value. Aaron A. Smith is still only rostered in 30% of Yahoo leagues. He's averaging over 17 points and 3 3-pointers over the past 2 weeks. If you're punting field goal percentage, he's worth rostering. Just check to make sure he's returning against Utah before adding him. Reed Shepherd has averaged 12 points and 1.8 steals over the past 7 days. He's rostered in 29% of Yahoo leagues and is worth adding to see how the week plays out. Jake LaRavia is returning top 100 value over the last 2 weeks and is only rostered in 26% of Yahoo leagues. He should be able to keep it up until LeBron returns. It's hard to ignore a guy who just put up a triple-double 2 games ago and is only rostered in 24% of Yahoo leagues. It's a pity Philly only plays twice in week 4, but Trendon Watford is worth adding to see what he can do on Tuesday against Boston. Just keep your expectations low. If you're in deeper leagues, Max Christie has been averaging a touch over 14 points per game over the last 2 weeks and is only rostered in 14% of Yahoo leagues, and Marcus Smart, who has been averaging 1.8 steals for the season, is only rostered in 9%. If you're looking for a player who's only rostered in 2% of leagues, Brandon Williams has been averaging 11 points and 2 steals over the past 2 weeks. Dallas is a mess right now and is desperate to find a solution at point guard until Kyrie returns. Week 4 sees more of a balanced week, giving us 9 games on Monday, 6 on Tuesday, 12 on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday, 9 on Friday, 5 on Saturday, and 8 on Sunday. You should be able to stream on all days except for Wednesday. Utah has the best streaming schedule for the week and are the only team starting with a back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday. Yusuf Nurkic is still only rostered in 35% of Yahoo leagues. Add him if he's available in your league. Indiana, Utah, and Toronto have pseudo back-to-backs on Tuesday and Thursday. For Indiana, look to stream Isaiah Jackson and Aaron Naismith. For Toronto, Sandro Mamukelashvili and Colin Murray-Boyles can provide some value with Jakob Poeltl working his way through a back injury. Charlotte, the Lakers, Milwaukee, and Minnesota have back-to-backs on Friday and Saturday. Ryan Kalkbrenner and Kon Knuppel are still available in over 60% of Yahoo leagues. If they're not available, look at guys like Kyle Kuzma, Marcus Smart if you're needing steals, Rui Hachimura, and Jake LaRavia. Before we let you go, we sent out a call out to all of our subscribers to share their craziest league stories. Desperate times make people do desperate things, and there's no better place to observe that like it's Animal Planet than right in your fantasy leagues. Welcome to Commissioner's Corner. Our favorite of the bunch came from John, who recalls a friend that happened to be a regular in his league. Last year, his team was not doing well. A few weeks out from the playoffs, 3 other guys were neck and neck for the last 2 playoff spots, and he was playing against one of them. After a night out and not being able to get an Uber home, he had a temper tantrum and put the entire team on the waiver wire. Commissioner reversed that, but the buddy then refused to play any of his players the entire week. On top of that, the commissioner took the win away from the guy that beat him, which knocked that guy out of the playoff race. Now, the buddy is banned from the league, and the guy that got knocked out of the playoffs just quit. The reason for the waiver wire tantrum? He was trying to get the Uber not to go home, but to go to a girl's house. She told him not to come, so he put his entire team up on the block. I wonder if the girl knows the domino effect she started. The power? I just want her autograph. If you have a buddy who throws tantrums or any other story from your fantasy leagues that you want to share, drop a comment or email us at hello@#fs.com and we'll share it with the class next time.